do it. And I found it. Quite by chance, literally out of the blue, I met I can only describe him as a shy, reclusive millionaire guy who, literally working just a few hours a week from his home, was making over 30 grand a month. Now, 30 grand a month was more than I've been used to earning, in a whole year in my full-time job. So you can bet I was pretty keen to find out what he was doing. But I got him to teach me his simple system so that I could copy some of the ideas he was using and start the thing off for myself to get away from that job that I hated so much. He showed me a really simple system that I could start, literally starting on a shoestring budget, in my spare time, in my spare room at home. That system that he showed me has fundamentally changed my life. Today my life is so different. I've been able to buy several homes for myself, each of which have cost over £1 million, which I paid in cash, no mortgages, no loans, nothing like that. I've been able to buy my beach house, for example, which is a lovely house set right on a private, secluded beach where I now work from. I drive beautiful luxury cars, which I've been able to buy again for cash. And all of this because I started a simple little business, which I now run from my study at the beach house, literally on a part-time basis. A little business which, in the last 12 months, for example, has made me over £1 million. That's £1 million for running a little autopilot business in my spare time from my study at home. That's £1 million in a year from a little autopilot business that I run from my beach house or wherever I happen to be in the world, all from my little laptop computer. See, that's the beauty of this type of business. I can literally run this from my home, or I can run it, wherever I happen to be on the planet. So if I'm traveling, for example, last year I went to Australia. I've been to Nepal, I've been to New York, I've been to Las Vegas, Paris, even South Africa. Loads of places where I can run this business, literally just working from my laptop, wherever I happen to be. As long as I can get an internet connection, I can run this business almost anywhere on the planet. Now, I was asked by one of the UK's leading book publishers if I consider writing down my system in a simple to understand book. That's what I did. In fact, I'd love to send you a copy of my book, which is called Copy This Idea. I'd love to send you a copy today with my compliments. Now, this is not a book which is filled with kind of charts and graphs and that sort of thing. This is not kind of some theory, because I'm not one of these kind of business gurus. I'm not one of these guys that you see on any of these TV reality programs, the business programs that we all know and love. I'm not some guy who's got a column in the Financial Times. I'm just an ordinary, down-to-earth guy who started a little business in his spare room at home and went on to bank over £50 million, literally starting from the spare room on a shoestring budget. I would love to send you a copy of the book to show you exactly how I did that, step by step. In the book, you'll see that I'm nothing special. I'm not one of these people that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth with loads of money. In fact, when I was born, I was brought up living in a caravan. It's not that my parents were gypsies, it's just that they had no money when they got together, and literally I was brought up in a caravan and my family bounced along the poverty line in all the years that I was growing up. I went to school on the local council estate. I never did particularly well at school. I left school with 4 exams, one of which was woodwork and one of which was drawing. So you don't have to be a genius to run this type of business at all. The simple system that I'll show you in the book details exactly how I went from starting on a shoestring budget, working in my spare time, to banking over £50 million just doing what I've been taught. I'll show you step by step how I did it, right from when I got started, right through to making my first million and going on to become a multi-millionaire using exactly what I show you in the book. What I'll show you in this book allowed me to walk into my boss's office at work and to hand in my notice so that I could start my business. Now, you don't need to do that, by the way. You don't need to hand in your notice to start this business. Sensibly, you should start this on a part-time basis, literally evenings and weekends. Turn the TV off for a few nights a week. Evenings and weekends, you can get started on this and you can get this business up and running before you go and tell your boss what to do with the job. This simple little system allowed me to move out of my little 3-bed semi on the local housing estate into my very first £1 million house. A house that I paid for in cash. You should have seen the look on my solicitor's face when I walked into her office and I presented her with a cheque for £1 million in cash to buy the house. No mortgage, no loans or anything. £1 million in cash that I could buy that house for. This system has totally, fundamentally changed my life. In the book that I'd like to send you a free copy of today, I'll show you exactly how the system works, I'll show you how I got started on a shoestring, and I'll show you how everything works so that you can copy this idea for yourself. Now, this book went straight into the Sunday Times Business bestseller charts. Not once, not twice, but 3 times it's appeared in the Sunday Times Business bestseller list. Not content with that, it also went in straight in at #1 in the WH Smith's business charts. And it also went in the same month. It went not only in the business charts, but it also went into the non-fiction charts in WH Smith as well. So for 1 month, we're #1 in both of their top non-fiction charts. It even made an appearance in the Sainsbury's book chart, and I've never seen a business book in the Sainsbury's book chart, but we managed to get a position within the Sainsbury's book chart as well. So this book has been featured not only in all the WH Smith's high street stores, but it's also been featured in the Sainsbury's charts in about 500 stores nationally. In the book, there's a chapter called The First Million, where I take you from literally starting up in my spare room on a shoestring budget through to the point where I pulled in my first £1 million using the system that I lay out in the book. There are loads of other chapters. I mean, there's one called Stack the Deck in Your Favour, because I do believe in business that you know, if you can find a way to stack the deck in your favour so you've got a greater chance of success rather than failure, it just makes sense to do it that way. There's a chapter called What Sells Best and How I Make My Money, where I show you exactly what it is that I do. I show you exactly what it is that I sell, the types of products that I sell, and I show you exactly how I make my money. I show you in detail how the system works. Probably the most important chapter in the book is one called How to Go from Making a Few £100 to Banking Your First £1 Million.